Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Animal Kingdom? It's Cole Kid here, and pretty much a lot of people that know me, or I'm pretty sure everyone in general knows that TF2 is one of my favorite games of all time. All right, it's funny, it's amazing, but so we're gonna work on. Well, I'm gonna read some of the TF2 creepypastas ever made. Now, there's only two that came up to mind, because they're the ones that came up to mind. So this is gonna be a little bit of a short video. But anyways, let's get right to it. So, our first creepypasta today, and also by the way, we're reviewing bad creepypastas. These are not good, or hopefully, or they won't make sense. I'll explain to that later. And I'll try my best. And well, first of all, so I don't see I'm ever reading someone in Ray Gamers fandom, and it's because I actually watched the guy, but I don't remember him reading this one. Also, I just realized they're both a spy. Hang on, let me get the other one up. It was Play Dead. That one. Sorry about that. But anyway, let's get right to it. And then I'm not so sure, or I am not sure if I should or shouldn't tell this story. Chances are nobody will believe me, as I no longer have proof. But I feel for the safety of others, I have to talk about the spy and why you should be afraid of him, as I am. The story takes place on October 27, 2012. Wow, coincidentally 5 years before Mario Odyssey came out, or Wolfenstein, the new Colossus. Anyways, sorry. A few days before Halloween, I was looking forward to hanging out with my friends and do our annual movie night. On this night, though, I chose to stay home and play Team Fortress 2. My favorite class was the spy, challenging but rewarding. It was so addicting to play. I even had the outfit for a cosplay of a local gaming anime convention, as well as the butterfly knife, so I can learn how to do flips and tricks. As you can tell, I'm a freaking nerd. Around of it, gaming is a passion for me, and TF2 was easy one of my favorite games. During this time, the Halloween event for the game was going on, and I was trying to get the achievements for the special items. I was trying to get the achievements and special items that were available that year. So I was playing sniper with the huntsman. Okay, now you don't play as a spy. Primarily so I can kill Erasmus when he showed up. Everything seemed fine and dandy until I was killed by a spy. The kill cam came up and it was someone named Spy, with no hats or unlocks of any kind. Well, that's embarrassing, I thought to myself. And here I thought I was good at the class, and I ended up being killed by a new player. At least I figured he was a new player considering his loadout. Oh well. I went about my business and continued to play. I was in the middle of fighting Erasmus and was killed by Spy again. And it was odd because I thought I was doing well to prevent him from backstabbing me. Wait. Sorry. Excuse me, Linger. Sorry. To prevent him from backstabbing me. Clearly, he wasn't a new player. He was smart about avoiding till I was completely distracted. So I figured, why not play Spy as well? Well, it could be fun to play against someone who obviously knew what he was doing. So I went Spy and played as normal. I went about stabbing and shooting people, trying to find him so I can go toe to toe in a spy duel. But I can never find him. So I went about going after his team instead. Just before killing an enemy medic, I was killed yet again. Same player. This guy is good, I thought. His name was perfect. Why do I feel like this is gonna be a stalker? This is. I'm already predicting it. So and these are gonna be something hideous to watch. I decided to check the scoreboard to see how many points he had, but there wasn't anyone named Spy. Are you sure you weren't playing with the bot? I know bots appear, but sometimes they can. I don't know. I was a little disappointed. I figured he left the server and decided to go ahead and go back to trying to get the achievements again when I was backstabbed by who else? Spy. And that insult to injury, there was a message. Excuse my language. Sorry. There was a message in the server chat that said, "Spy, you are an incoming bad spy voice. You are an immature and a fool." Told you it wasn't good. I was getting a little bit agitated I could never seem to find this guy before he killed me, and I would keep seeing the same thing every time the camera zoomed in. A spy with a stock loadout and a smile on his face. Yeah, a smile, like it was grinning at the fact that he killed me. Play as Pyro! I know the story's old, but come on, play as Pyro, man! Sorry, let's continue. I decided to just quit and come back later, but I was still a little agitated. Not in the fact that he kept killing me, but the fact that I tried to look for him. Even checked in the scoreboard for his name and there was nothing. Who the heck does leave for a brief moment to come back to kill someone? I admit it worked, but how would they know I was looking at that particular point in time? It just doesn't make sense. I joined a non-Halloween server deciding to play Badwater, one of my favorite maps for Spy. I was having fun up until I was killed by a spy. And he ended up dominating. Wait, sorry, I lost track. Sorry, I was looking at something off screen. I was having fun until I was killed by a spy. And it was him again. Same look, same name. Only, he seemed different somehow. The texture changed a little bit. His suit looked darkened due to aging, and his face looked pale. The same thing kept happening. I would try to look for him, and he would still end up being killed. And like the other server, I didn't see him on the scoreboard. He ended up dominating me, and I saw a message in the chat again.
I'm going to gut you like a Cornish game hen.
A little disturbed, I asked my teammate if they saw this guy, or if he was killing anybody. They all said that spies aren't that good, and weren't having any problems. I asked them, what about the spy? They said they weren't being killed by anybody with a name like that. While I was typing another message, I was killed by spy again. I saw this reply. I was killed by spy again, and asked if anyone saw that. I saw this reply. Do you have a bind or something? It just keeps saying you killed yourself. I stopped. I must be losing my mind. So there's a player that I can see, who I know is killing me, but no one else has seen him in the game, or his messages in chat, or to anyone else. It looks like I'm suiciding. This is crazy. How does any of this make any sense? I said to myself. Then I saw another message in the chat. May I make a suggestion? Run. Play as Pyro! Then my game froze briefly and said I was disconnected from the server. A little creeped out, I decided to join another server. The map was upward. We were still at the first point, so I picked Soldier. Stop. Pyro. And started moving out of spawn. I checked around the front door. Nothing. So I started checking the front line. Checked my back once again. Nothing. Moved a little further. Checked again. Still nothing. I decided to rocket jump the rest of the way and looked back behind me as I was jumping. I saw him standing still as I was flying in midair. Only for a brief moment. And then Cloaking disappeared. And I decided to hell with this. I went back to find him. I searched above in the tunnels by the edge of the cliff. Nowhere to be found. So I started moving towards the front line again, trying to check my back every so often. He wasn't standing this time. I would check my back every so often and see him just standing there, looking at me before cloaking and running away. I would chase him, but I figured what's pointless. I never find him. It was like chasing a ghost. No matter what I did, I would never catch him before he killed me. He was toying with me. He knew I couldn't do anything to stop him. Eventually, I just gave up. I tried to have some fun, blasting people with my rocket launcher and blowing up. I was having a good time for a while. Then I was pushing the cart, and I was back to him again. And this time, I was really freaking out. I saw him again, but this time he was zombified. His suit was torn and raggedy with dried blood on it. Are you sure he's not wearing a custom skin? Because I'm pretty sure there's like a skin that makes him look a little zombified. But I have to double check because I could be making it up. But regardless, TF2 is gonna be modelable with the community, so it's probably had a custom skin. But I digress. But and the dried blood in his right arm and leg had its bones showing at his knee and elbow. And the balaclava was now over his skull. Am I supposed to be grossed out by this? The flesh was gone. It shouldn't have scared me this much since it was part of the Halloween event I told you. But after everything that has been happening up until this point, I was scared at the sight of that spy. I left the server and decided to check my recent players again. surely there is something there. Every player has a Steam profile, right? I looked at the list and there he was. Then he was just spy. And the avatar was the spy himself. A close up with the face was a twisting the evil grin that went from ear to ear. And his eyes had a hint of red in the pupils. Almost demonic. I'm pretty fucking sure. I don't know why. I could just imagine it. It's just like some fucking like poor man's version of an edit, kind of like first filmmaker shit. I checked the player profile page and the image was still there. An evil smile looking right at me. He had no icon or player introduction. The page was almost entirely blank. I looked at his TF2 stats. He had a total of 44,204 hours on the game. No fucking way. I looked at his player stats. All his hours were spying, and he had over 1,000,000 points, and as long as life matched his playtime. Meaning that this player, whoever or whatever it was, never died. I did the math, and he has been playing since October 10th, 2007, the day the game was released. I went back to his profile page, and the headline had changed. I'll be seeing you. Sorry for the bad spy impression. I'll be seeing you. I was freaking out. I know there wasn't there a few minutes ago. All of a sudden, I heard this loud noise coming from my speakers, like a siren, like that. Okay, sorry. Like coincidentally, there was actually kind of a spooky noise going on in the background because some guy had loud music coming through. Anyways, you guys don't care about that. Then a boost screen popped up, realizing that my computer just crashed. Da-da-da! I rebooted, it backed up and got to the login page. Typed my password and I was greeted with absolutely nothing on my desktop. Nothing. No shortcuts, no background, nothing at all. Explorer was still working and then I could navigate the taskbar, but a small amount of static could be heard from my speakers. I figured that I must have gone to some kind of fake Steam site and downloaded the virus. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I decided to do a quick scan on my computer. Well, why a quick scan? Why not a full scan? Doesn't it make more sense to do a full scan rather than a quick scan? I uploaded my antivirus and malware software, and it began scanning. I also started seeing I was getting ready to send a ticket to Steam support. Whoever this bastard was, I was going to report him. This was more than some typical hacker or something. I was being stalked. I checked my recent players list again. His name wasn't there. I clicked his name, 404, saying the page doesn't exist. I refreshed it as many times as I could. Same thing. I closed Chrome. I decided to check the scan. Suddenly, every program I had, I crashed. And my taskbar disappeared and the static increased in volume. Then the background changed into a horrific image I will never be able to forget. Okay. I'm sorry. This next part I can't take seriously, so I got to do this without laughing. The image of the spy, grinning from ear to ear, appeared again. But worse, the spy was now a decayed corpse. You could clearly see what weird bits of flesh used to be, and the smile was showing with some teeth missing. I don't know why. I just laugh at this. The right side of the face was blown out, like he took a shotgun rest to the face, but he still had a bit of his eyeball where it used to be, while the left eye stared directly at me. It was yellow with some small red cracks in it, similar to how yours would look if you went a long period of time without sleeping. When I followed this image stuck in my screen, I hear the spy's voice lines moving from my computer. I'm coming for you! Then I hear him laughing. Normally at first, then increasing in volume, and then slowly becoming more and more distorted and twisted, looping over and over, creating an echo in my room. My ears were ringing as it kept getting louder and louder. I covered my ears, but it was still coming through, piercing my eardrums. I reached for the power cable and pulled it out, turning my computer off instantly. I reformatted my computer such that I have no choice. After that incident, my computer wouldn't get past the Windows startup screen. I had to reset my computer to factory settings to get it working again. You could have just I had to reinstall Windows and reinstall the drivers. That's more simple. I had to factory settings because nobody knows what that means. Since then, my computers are running fine, and I've been able to play other games. I told my family and friends that my computer crashed and I had to reset it. Okay, I understand friends, but why family of all things? I never told them about what I saw that night. Team Fortress 2 is obviously on my Steam profile, but until now I haven't installed it. I'm downloading as on Typhus and I hope to be sharing that by playing with you. I'll be able to play it again when I was shaking. I missed the game, but I can't get rid of this fear I have the spy hunting me in real life. I've been having nightmares about it since then, and they always play out the same way. But wait, there's more! I come home at night, and as I'm trying to unlock my door, I feel a knife being punched deep into my back, and it's being pushed down, ripping through my spine. The spies, they can't go over my mouth and my eye, looking directly in the mine. I'm laughing as I bleed to death. Every single time I wake up sitting with a butterfly knife in my bed. What the fuck did I just read? What the fuck did I just read, dude? Great story, excellent story. No, it's not. It's one of those stories ever made. It's like, oh my god, dude. I you resort to fucking. I was a dream last night. But hey, at least you got the butterfly knife in your bed. That's cool. And the next story, I probably will laugh the same way as me. Team Fortress 2. Play dead. I'd like to share an experience I had with the game of Team Fortress 2. It was about 9 p.m. on a Monday. I think about 2 weeks ago. And I had decided to play the multiplayer match on TF2. Signed on and started the automatic server selection for play modes. I felt like playing Capture the Flag, so I selected that option. My computer lagged a bit while I was searching for a server, which isn't normal for me as my laptop is very distant from my router. But eventually, I found one. I've been only able to play TF2 since a little after it became free, so I don't have a very big server history, nor experience with server mods or servers in general. But something seemed rather odd about this particular server, I think. Once I gained access to the server, the loading screen came up with the bar on the bottom right. As the bar got to about 70%, it dittered backwards and paused. It started going between 45 and 60%. I don't think that's normal. I don't think that's normal. Also, I never played TF2 back in the day, but did it ever show you the percentages? Because the only thing that happens is that, like, that generic bar thing. The game froze after a few minutes, and I decided to force quit the game. Why? I went to go get something to eat and came back to the game, started up, and decided to play with my server history. I noticed a new server added to that list. CTF Play Dead 905, or something along that line. After the event, I'm about to explain the server disappeared from my list, so I'm going on play memory here. I tried the server and similar to that, the little bar jittered a bit, but however, it managed to complete this time. Usually, when you enter a custom server, there will be a sort of splash page to welcome you to the server and advertise your site or briefly explain the rules. Yeah, it's normal. In the case of the server, the entire splash page was black. That's also normal. Sometimes there's nothing there, but black. There's something on it. I started to start thinking something was wrong with my graphics card, and when all the streaming does, that was sorry. I'll reread that. There was something on it. I started to think something was wrong with my graphics card with all the strange things that was happening, but I decided to continue on. No, I know you're not experienced with it, but that just happens. The game loaded, selected Pyro as my class, and I entered 2 for it. For those of you that have never played TF2, here's a brief explanation. I'm pretty sure all of us know TF2, but I'll read it anyway. It's a team-based online multiplayer FPS game, and in this particular Capture the Flag mode, map TF2 for it, you have 2 fairly large mills separated by a large lagoon and a bridge. In order to network the pipes that you can enter, the objective is to obviously capture the opponent's flag and return it to your base. For this server, there are 2 teams of 6. Upon my joining, both teams became full. Okay. The game was already mid-progress and everything was working normally. Our team blue had already scored 1 point and we needed 2 more to win. The red team had 0 points. This particular game didn't have a time limit, and we seemed to be going back and forth for about 14 minutes with little to no progress. Yeah, that's 2-4 right there. Yeah, that's 2-4. Yeah, if people don't replay TF2 that often, yeah, that's normal. That is perfectly normal. There's no time limit, and it goes on forever. Especially those community servers. Occasionally, members from our team will type angry messages to the opposing team, accusing them of being cheap, like by having like 4 engineers in their flag room with turrets, making it almost impossible to get their flag, and making the game seem endless. No, I mean, yeah, that's true, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm tired of reading this. Up until now, things have been relatively normal. Until I started noticing that for about 5 minutes, I've been going around the level and I haven't seen I have not seen a single one of my team members, nor any other players from the team. People were still talking, however, so it kind of took a while for it to sink in that I haven't seen anyone at all for over 5 minutes. Ooh, wow! I thought it had to be some sort of lag problem, so I asked the other players if they were having the same issue, and the general response was, nope. But one player said they haven't seen me for a bit either. About 6 more minutes passed, and I started to grow pretty bored. I decided to make one more round through other levels before I will find another server. I left our fort and fell into the lagoon. Is that even considered a lagoon? We said it was like a pond. Or like a river of some sort. No, it would be a sewer. It's not a lagoon, it's a sewer. Anyway, and proceed to enter the red team's pipe network. After the little room underground, in the middle of the tunnel, there's a really long pipe that leads to the staircase going up into the base at the end. I noticed an enemy scout standing there, but he wasn't moving, just standing out there with his bat and staring at me. Does this guy now know like the weird shit of TF2 that I also do all the time? I was seeing from a relief spread over me that the game started to work again, and I charged him and began to shoot him with my flare gun. The shots went right through him. Okay, and when are you sure not? Watching, no, if it was a spy, you would see he's a spy. The shots went right through him, and when I approached, he disappeared completely. Really bad lag, I thought to myself. I ascended the staircase, and as I entered, a strange static sound started to replace the other game sounds. I made my way throughout their base, and as I got closer to the flag room, the static became louder and louder and louder and louder until I couldn't hear anything in the game at all. This is when things started getting really weird, you think? Oh, it's a screenshot. Oh, that's disappointing. Anyway, I asked if anyone else heard the static, and I did not receive any reply. No one has said a word since I saw the enemy scout in the pipe tunnel. I managed to get to the room adjacent to the flag room, but 2 holes were in it. And all I could hear was some sort of murmuring behind the static. As I went down one of the halls and turned the corner, I noticed that there's no flag room. It was just black, like the hall led into the game's void, where all the textures and lighting were reduced to 100% black. I shot it a couple of times, and my bullet landed as if there were walls there, so I entered the room anyway. I held the flag and picked it up, and when I turned around, everything turned black. And the UI was still up on the screen. It said I had a flag, but there was nothing to the level, and all traces of the level disappeared. I tried again to get an answer after seeing my problem. No response. I stood in the room, or lack thereof, for about 3 minutes until suddenly the game froze and the game ended. Ow. I accidentally bumped my desk. Sorry about that. Didn't mean for that to happen. But the message didn't say anyone won or lost, and the announcer was all true. I imagine it was stalemate. Yes, but kind of like that. I kind of imagine it like that. The scoreboard was broken. The loading screen quickly came up, and it said downloading play dead 0090 or something along that line. It took about 17 minutes to download. It was a really huge file. What the fuck? Wait. Okay. What do you mean really huge file? Second of all, how the hell do you... Okay, this is one big plot hole. How the hell do you wait 17 minutes for a map to download? I understand that for a game, but for a map? My god. My god, this motherfucker has insane patience. If I waited even 1 minute towards that, I would have fucking canceled the download. When I was finished, the black server screen came up again. I went through the screen and selected Spy. The level loaded to something completely indescribable. I tried to save a screenshot, but every picture I tried to get said error, and print screen didn't work. you could just why couldn't you just try like a fucking photo for your screen or something? I went to the okay, sorry, I'm reading shit. The level looked rather black and white and very glitchy. The textures on the wall were kind of 8-bit blocks, but really distorted. It was almost like playing a 3D version of a static snow screen on TV. I went to the level and asked everyone, "What's this map?" But there was no response. Again, I checked the player list in order to my name. Everyone else was listed as I am dead 1, I am dead 2, I am dead 3, etc. I've never noticed and I never encountered anything like this before. Or there's a prank games people make for fun and hacked along the lines of that Majora's Mask one. But this is an online game with what I had thought secure servers. Well, I know this was written a long time ago, but does this guy not know what the bot crisis? The bot crisis? And when community servers were the good ones, and the official servers were the bad ones? No? Let's move on. I decided to give it a few more minutes and explore the level, which was a really large maze of oddly shaped tunnels. Also, there were no sound effects whatsoever. Nothing I did caused a sound, and I eventually came to a really long tunnel with what I imagined was the middle of the level. The tunnel had darkness at the end, and it seemed almost endless, as I was walking there for at least a minute, in one direction with no change in the map. I decided to turn around and go back thinking that this map was glitched. And the moment I turned my camera around, I saw the enemy scout I saw earlier. Except something was very wrong about it. His eyes were black. his left arm was rather deformed and bent in an impossible direction, and the legs reminded me of a crab. Do you not watch Source Filmmaker shit? Does this guy not watch Source Filmmaker shit? Because honestly, this sounds like Source Filmmaker. This honestly sounds like a Source Filmmaker. Basically, you know those ones where basically scouts having a seizure, and he's like dispenser, kind of like that. Yeah, is this guy on a crack or something? I almost jumped out of my seat at the time and typed, "What the fuck is going on?" Quickly into the I can't pronounce that word in the chat log, but there was no response. I stood there and stared down at the strange scout. After several moments, the other players started talking, but all that appeared was corrupted garbage text. So kind of like. The scout quickly approached me in the sun through in regular fashion. I heard a very, very loud burst of static, and all of a sudden it kicked me out of the server. I went to check the server, and it was gone from my history. Naturally, I immediately shut off the game. I haven't paid a cent. I thought it was some sort of prank or something, but it was pretty creepy. And in fact, you don't usually keep me on hold, and then that's all. It gets better. Update, July 13, 2011. Oh, wow. That was a long time ago. Damn. I was like 5 years old. I was 6 years old. Yeah, I was 5 years old when this happened. After posting this, I decided to play the game again. I went into my server's history to find a King of the Hill map, but I noticed that the same server, TF2 played at 905 was back. But this time, it had 0 to 16 players. I went back and went to the server, and unlike before, it loaded normally without any issues. It was 2-4 like when I entered before, but there were no other players on the server. And they came out of place, and I walked around the map for a while, finding nothing. The one thing I noticed that was strange was that I would hear the sound effects glitch out every now and then. When selecting the character, there was a stagnant noise that kept repeating. And when I went to the tunnel area, I thought I heard footsteps. I shut the game down a few minutes later, and I will try it again another time. Maybe I'll get more footage. This sounds like this. What the fuck is this? This sounds like Source Filmmaker shit. Also, this picture even looks like Source Filmmaker shit. It's like you can't make this up. You can't. What would I rank this? Fucking 3 out of 10. It's not bad, but at least it's better than this one. This is a 1 out of 10. It could have been great. These are shit pastas. This is a slightly better shit pasta. This one isn't. This is one of the worst I've ever read in my goddamn life. It was kind of believable at first, because I can understand like you being killed by a bot. What kills it is the fucking ending. I understand it being a virus because don't even affect him on a Chrome, meaning he probably typed in some random user and looked it up. And those back then was this is probably like way earlier Steam, like probably like 2010 Steam. But still, really, this is not a great creepypasta. This is terrible. Also, these screenshots are that doesn't even look creepy. That just looks like someone just put a. That just looks like someone made a community skin and just ran with it. That doesn't even look like creepy. It just looks fucking. It just looks like a bizarre skit someone made. Anywho, Animal Kingdom. That is all today for cool. That is all today from me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And Cool Dog Kids out.